There we go. It should be that. And yep, we're set. Well, from the sun, sea, and sand of Miami, it's Sin City. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to round 4 of our Tier 3 Season 9 Championship. And indeed, Sin City, we are at Las Vegas, one of the newest, or the newest actually, track from North America. And F1 calendar took a bit of a hiatus from FPRL, but it is back. So expect overtakes aplenty, and indeed a lot more action to unfold. Haas very much on the up. 3 wins from 3. Is it the quadruple tonight for the American outpost? We will find out. I'm Cruiser 1872, and there's not really any introduction right now at this point. Monkey Boy Kurt, happy Monday, and how you feeling for the next race?
Happy Monday to you, Cruiser. Happy Monday to everyone. Well, to be honest, I haven't done any TT yet, but I personally, I don't think I'm gonna like Vegas much. Simply because I run no line, and there's that blind corner that who's going through it now? I think it's Sheriff Woody's just going through it now. With that corner on no line is absolutely horrible because you just have no, there's no indication of where to brake. So, but yeah, we'll see. Have a little bit of a practice maybe later on tonight and maybe tomorrow, and we'll see how we go. But yeah, I'm just looking forward now to seeing what these Tier 3s can do. Obviously, after 3 rounds, we've got quite a tight championship with 11 points separating the top 3, and a new driver tonight in ZLL 93. He races tonight in the Aston Martin, so let's be interesting to see what he can do. But yeah, above all, looking forward to see what the guys can produce yet again. As once again, as most weeks it's been since the start of this season, Manager Alan will be the first person to start proceedings off of a flying lap.
Very well, and really Vegas is very much DRS powerful. It's not really any surprise, especially down that Las Vegas strip. Expect the predominant amount of overtaking down there, but for tonight, let's see what Sector 1 has in store. 26.6 for the major, not too bad. And then, as you see here, this reference here of turn 6 and turn 7, this devious chicane by the Las Vegas Sphere. And now turn 8, a little bit deep there for Major Allen, but finds it quite well. And we'll keep an eye on cars behind Sheriff Woody, Wizard of Oz, and Novus Uwada in that Red Bull, soon to be followed by Locker. As now up to turn 11 for the Mercedes, looking to get a bit of a cheap slipstream here from his teammate here. I believe that's David Lawface, and indeed he's going to try and help. As you see that Major Allen using a lot of that battery, keeping a lot of it in store for Sector 3, and this is going to be another key strategy too, as there's David leaving it right to the last second to slingshot the Major down to this final little finicky chicane. You can be brave here, but you can also be a bit too greedy. I suppose if it being Vegas, it fits the theme. And in this final run to the line, he's out of deployment. That's going to be something to consider. Next run for the major, but it's a 32.8 for the Mercedes. A decent effort, and we'll see how that time holds up. Again, Sheriff Woody clobbering the curb around turn 12. And this final dash to the line, not using any battery, but it's going to say he's not going to use any, but he's not going to run out of it either on that deployment, as round the final non-existent corner really. It's a 32.0 for Sheriff Woody, and that's more like what we know he can produce. He's had a bit of a cold spell, and I think tonight he wants to get the gas back on that stove, as Wizard of Oz has decided to fight fire with fire. A 31.7 for the Alpine driver. And next up would be Novus, a 32.9, and a few cars back to set their provisional lap times.
Yeah, a few more going around now. Then here comes FPRL Locker, who would be hoping, I think, for a bit more of a better qualifying, shall we say. It's not been the best start to the season in terms of quali, and he goes up to P5, well, last of the current times on a 33.4. There's still plenty of time left to go. And we've got the last week's race winner just starting his lap in Remaster. He sees himself climb up to P3 now in standings, just behind Button and his teammate who's leading the championship, Destroyer. Got Aston Martin coming across the line. Actually, let's. I'm gonna. Oh, and looks like he's already invalidated there. a ZLL. I don't know if he's cut the corner coming into the last turn, but yeah, he's not going to be able to get a lap this occasion. Here comes David Lowell facing the other Mercedes. What can he do? And he does a 32.8 as well, just behind his teammate for now, Major Allen. And yeah, we've also got coming around Destroyer now starting his lap. But yeah, I still think at the moment probably a lot of times to be found. And I think we're going to see just how quick potentially people can go when we see a certain RB come across the line in Button. His quali pace has been monumental this season.
Yeah, that it is. He just needs to put it to the races, though. But still plenty of time for Button. We do have another 6 races to go after tonight, as we see Sid Sandwich in that Williams round the final corner, which is, again, as I say, non-existent. It's a 32.2. So yeah, he'll be chuffed with that. If he ends this qualifying session up in 3rd, he'll be well happy with that, as I see an improvement for Locker to go up to 5th. And then you see Zell, I think I'm just going to pronounce it like that, for this evening in the Aston. A late call up to the race, but joined the lead through a Discord server as Brewmaster puts Wizard of Oz on notice, a 31.8 for the Haas. And I think everyone right now is just keeping one eye on that RB at the back, and even Destroyer too, both of them at the foot of the field. They will not stay there for long, as there goes Zell getting his first run in FPRL underway. So I think we'll give him the luxury and not so much, hopefully not too much pressure, of being on stream for this lap. Let's see what the new driver has to offer us down the first of 2 DRS straights on this track, and the predominant part of Sector 1 outside of a few right angled corners and hairpins. Takes it quite nicely, and it goes a bit too deep. Easy done, and that is front wing damage for the Aston, and I'll just chalk that up to first lap nerves. As
Yeah.
there's Destroyer.
Oh wow. Well, we'll say oh wow. I mean, obviously he's got up to 1st, just a bit quicker than Wizard of Oz, a 10th and a half. But now we've got an RB coming almost to approach the end of his lap in Button. I'm going to be very interested to see what he's going to produce. Before that, we're going to get someone else come across the line. Sid Sandwich, I think he'll peel off into the box. We know he's going to go again. Locker is into the box this time, so not sure if he'll get another run out of it, 2 more runs out of it, maybe just 1. But here comes Button then. I'm fully expecting this to go P1 with his quali pace. Here we go. Is it going to be P1? It's not this time. P4 at the moment for Button. 31.9, still up there, obviously, amongst the leading pack. But nowhere near as fast compared to the others as what he was last week. I believe taking pole position by 7 tenths. So yeah, it looks like he's going to have a bit more of a challenge, if that's anything to go by, with these first runs. We've still got is it 5 drivers yet to set a lap. As you said, the Aston Martin of ZLL come into the box. He's got front wing damage, so the only one out of these 5 that's on a lap is Reese's Pieces, and he goes a little bit wide there going into the left chicane. But let's see what he can do. He qualified very well last week, qualified P2 on the grid. He's going to come across the line. This looks pretty good as well. And it puts him up to 6th for 32.1 for now. Still yet to set times then are ZLL, Speedy B, The Flow, and J Undisputed, who is now about a quarter of the way through his first lap.
Just going back Sector 1 there is J. Teammate Sid up in 7th. He'll be chuffed with his efforts, and I think he's on another lap, but I don't expect too much improvement for Sid unless he's learned a lot from the first one. Silverside Boy redeeming a drink and Pro Tom's drink, and I think in reference to Button's time, he says that he's bottled it. You should know by now you never judge Tier 3 within the first minute or 2, because everything can change like that. But Jay is going to head down the Las Vegas strip, where everything is quite ironically named Las Vegas or Hotel. There's no Caesar's Palace, there's nothing. It's just everything is Las Vegas around here, because copyright is fun. They haven't quite got that sorted, but as good as we're going to get. And down to the final chicane. And one thing I will say too, at least for our race coming up on Wednesday And for the tier 1s on Friday, be sure to check them out on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/FP or Racing Lead. Check them out 8 PM Wednesday and 8 PM on the Fridays. Jay! He seems to have a magic touch here around the Americas. I don't know what it is. He won at Kota, and he's now arrived on the scene quite quickly. Quite quickly around here on this Las Vegas Strip street circuit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw the Sector 2 time, and I thought he was going to go very high up there, and he's gone to the front of the pack for now. 7 minutes left in the session. He'll obviously come in now to the box, and he'll probably have time for one more run. But very good lap from him. Up to provisional pole position. We've got Locker coming around on starting his second run. Speedy B coming around the final corner. Now, this man has been so consistent in the races so far this season. He's used all the deployment, and I don't know if that's going to really hinder him. And he goes up to P3, and I think if he had that bit of deployment going through the last stages of that lap, he might have found himself up to P1 potentially, taking Jay off that spot. But for now, it's P3 and now P4 as Wizard of Oz goes through a 31.5, a tenth and a bit behind Jay. So there is some improvement coming out there. We've now got ZLL once again coming out for what's hopefully going to be his first lap. And the David Lowface there in the other Mercedes goes in front of his teammate Majoran now on a 32.4. And we've also got another Williams coming around. That's going to be Jay. He will be into the box. Next to come around, Sheriff Woody on his second run. He's a tenth and a half up, so this could potentially put him up to about 6th position, depending on how well he takes the last sector. Coming out of the last corner now, he's got a bit of battery still to use. Would he use overtake just before the line? I think he probably can. He's not going to, though. And he comes across the line about 2.5 tenths quicker. A 31.8 puts him up to P7.
Finding time as there's a mistake, and I think that is Major. It is Major Allen. He's went way too deep at turn 11 and is off sightseeing even more of Las Vegas. So that's not one way to go much quicker. As it looks like. Zell heading down the Vegas Strip. He's getting his lap together, but that final chicane, you can make up so much time if you get it right, but equally lose so much time if you get it wrong. As down the Las Vegas Strip, I don't see much battery in stock there for that Aston. That might not be good news for them, as there's the flow up towards the sphere, locking up that front left tyre. And again, that reference point, it is literally a blind corner. You just wait, then you hook it to the left. As we'll keep an eye on the flow. What can the Aston do? He's not had much battery around sector 3, and that is going to cost him a lot of time. It's a 33.8 though, at least he's got something to show for the debutant. And now back to the flow, a driver who's been very hot and cold in recent races, but more so cold, as I don't know what's happened with the flow. It just hasn't been the same as what we know he can do. But all it takes is that one race. Hopefully tonight is that race. We've got just over 4 minutes to go. So the flow's got to watch his time here. If he's not comfortable with his lap time, he's got to get a 31.4 to take provisional pole. If he's not comfortable with it, I would imagine he's going to dive in the pits. But it looks like he's going to finish this lap. This might be his one and only run. For the McLaren up to the line, it's a 31.6. So it's not quite pole, but it's a second row for the moment for the McLaren. He will be very happy with that as things go. But let's go back to Button. I don't think this is going to be much faster, but he's got to have a little bit more battery down to the end. I see him peeling to the left. No, he's taking a short run to the line. This is going to be it for Button. It's going to be a 1:31.4. He's just pipped Jay by 5 thousandths. Well, Silverside boy, what are you saying now?
Well, 5 thousandths. That will be his last run though, because it takes, like I say, around 1:31 get in the box. That'll be 2 minutes. By the time he gets back in that box, I don't think he will have time. So I think that is going to be Button's last run. ZLL coming around. He needs to get in the box this lap. And why? His overtake is still on. I don't know why he's using it. Probably trying to get back. He will have time. He's going to have 3 minutes by the time he gets in the box. So he will have time to come out for one final run. We've got Sid Sandwich coming around, and he's going to go to the line. So this is going to be his last chance. He's turned his battery off, though, and I can't help thinking that Maybe he's going to now try and just gain all the battery back on this light out lap and then go for one final run at the end. Reese's Pieces, oh, sorry, not Reese's Pieces. The flow, will he be able to get in and out? We're at, I can't see because of the thing, 2 minutes 30. Yeah, he should just about be able to get another run in. Should just about be fine. Coming around now, though, Brewmaster, he's a tenth and a half up. Where's the Brewmaster going to go? And he goes up to P7 and he gains a tenth, and that will be it for Brewmaster, unless he's got enough fuel in the tank to get that battery back up. As people are now starting to come out for their final runs, here comes Button into the box, and like we said, that will be it for him. Currently on provisional pole, but there's still everyone now yet to come out on their final runs, and there he is, retired in the pits.
Well, Button's done all he can do. There we are. I just want to mention quickly as well, we've got 9 drivers within the vicinity of 4 tenths around this track. That is some doing for Tier 3. I don't remember the last time we were qualifying this close. But again, a street circuit, you need to take risks. That's the only difference it will make. Has the flow, he's going to try. I don't know if he's though. He's got a minute. I don't think he's going to make it. I think the flow's done for qualifying. He can try, but it's just not going to be enough. He's got to make up like 7 seconds in this outlap, which is impossible. Destroyer down in 4th, missed last time out due to connection issues, and I think Monkey Boy Kurt, get the wheel ready for internet gremlins, because we've seen at least one driver across this season spin the wheel and see who it lands on. My money is going to be on Sid Sandwich. Sorry, Sid.
Well, you said it now. Oh, and retired. Oh, okay.
That's in the pits.
In the box. I would have thought he would have had time to get out and do another run, but he's going to start last on the grid.
I think he would have enough time anyway, even at that. He's not a lap on the board as well. So let's see what the race holds, but might even just be a case of survival, which Speedy B is going to be on their final run. Brewmaster is done. He's not going to get round in time, even with the time remaining. He does have enough fuel, but if we can see the time, he had 20 seconds, that's it. Brewmaster is not going to better 8th. We've got Novus in their lap, a driver we've not really spoken too much about, but Reese's Pieces up by 4.5 tenths, but this is going to cost him though. He got a bit slidey out of the chicane, and I think all that time he's made up, he's going to lose. Is he going to at least challenge his teammate? He's not. He's into the 31s though, but that mistake did cost him a chance at something higher than 10th.
Yeah, there's the checkered flag. So everyone now on their final laps. The first one to come around is going to be Sid Sandwich. Can he improve on a 32.2? He's going to have to find 4 tenths to try and get himself into the top 10. As he comes out of the last chicane, he's using a bit of hot lap, but there's the deployment. It's gone. And I don't think he's going to improve too much here. Let's have a look. It's not going to be enough. No, he's actually down on the lap by just under a tenth. So he will stay P11 for now. Next to come round is going to be Speedy B, and no, he's messed his lap up, so he will stay for now P6. Nova Suaga, who's missed the last couple of races, now coming towards the final stages of his lap, currently sitting in P8. I thought he might have cut the corner too much there, but he's done it absolutely fantastically there. Just cut it the right amount, not to invalidate, and he's gonna pull in as well. So everyone's pulling into the pits. Here comes David Lolface. He's a tenth and a half up, and by the end of it, he's a tenth and a half down. I'll hand back to you to finish off these times, Cruiser.
Yeah, one thing I will say though, the Haas's are playing team games. There's a reason why Brewmaster backed up. It was to give a slipstream to Destroyer. Wizard of Oz best button, and the slipstream's not enough. Wizard of Oz has done it unless anyone else improves. Jado's second. He's lost it by 6 thousandths, and the top 3 covered by less than half a tenth. 50 milliseconds. Covering the top 3 drivers. Button will drop to 4th. The Flow will take 5th in qualifying. He'll be happy with that. Reese's Pieces is done, and that'll be 10th for him. Brewmaster done all he could, but is only 3rd for the Haas team and 7th. And this is certainly the closest we've seen qualifying for a long time in Tier 3. Because that gap Button had in Miami, 7 tenths across the field, that covers almost our top 10. So that's a small indication here. We've got a very interesting race with equally matched setups, equally matched drivers. but who's going to hold their nerve for, if I'm correct, 25 laps of this Las Vegas circuit?
Yeah. I mean, but actually the top 10 are separated by less than that 7 tenths. It was a 31.2 that was the pole time. It's a 31.8 that is P10. So the actual gap, there it is there, top 10, just under 6 tenths. So very close between this top 10. Once again, a few, shall we say, qualifying issues, or just can't get it together in qualifying, Ken Locker, but he'll try to come back in the race. But definitely a great last run there. Wizard of Oz, Jay Undisputed and Destroyer all separated by 400ths of a second. Button in 4th, Flo in 5th, and Speedy B in 6th. And I think this is going to be a very interesting race, to be honest. Whenever you see a very, very tight qualifying like this, it normally means that we're going to see maybe an even tighter race. That'd be very interesting to see what's going to happen. I reckon we're going to see lots of overtaking as well down that massively long back straight. DRS is definitely going to play a big factor in this one.
The ERS as well. How much do you defend? But how much are you willing to lose because of the DRS? If you break that 1 second, you need to keep it. But even at that, the DRS and slingshots, I'll be very, very surprised if there's a breakaway leader in this race. Because we do have the makings here for a classic in FPRL. And a reminder as well to everyone new to FPRL this season, usually we run a formation lap. That has been scrapped this season, so we will have an extended interval between qualifying and the race, and we're straight to lights out. I wait 10 seconds now where we go to the grid. Just somebody's readied up early. We have United Tommy redeeming a drink for myself. I will share that to my co-comms partner, but thank you very much, Tommy. And for redeeming the drink, I'll get that sorted right away. Having a good old Pepsi match tonight for myself. And Major Allen saying that they were up by half a second before the left turn onto the Las Vegas Strip. It's easy done. You clobber that inside curb, you clobber the arm toe on the right. Street circuits, well, street circuit, you need to be accurate, and you need to be confident. And I think that's going to be a deciding factor too. Who has the confidence to make the overtakes when they count? Because though it's not unlikely, turn 4 after the first DRS straight will see overtaking, but that barrier on the right hand side and the left hand side, I don't know. We've seen crashes before, and Major Allen confirming that their car slid. His car slid, or it was drifting. Sid Sandwich in the chat is asking, any word on Verstappen's comeback yesterday around Interlagos? I think the bigger talk really is Alpine. What a race for that's a race they needed, honestly. All the trials and tribulations, they went from being a tractor to driving a jet fighter around Interlagos.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was amazing to see him second and third, and they've been really struggling for points all season. And to see him up there was really, really good. But yeah, Verstappen coming up from P17, what a drive from him. That is a champion's drive, and he showed how good he is in the wet. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much nailed on now. His 4th title.
I think it's if he outscores Lando by 2 points, or he has a 60-point gap after, ironically, Las Vegas. He's won the title. So basically, if Max wins, it's done. But we'll see what he has on offer. But again, I think it's just a case of even though he has his moments, he's just too damn good. He's too good.
Yeah, 100%. I just like to quickly point out, just before we get going, the Twitch channel is now on 699 followers, but we're almost at 700. Anyway, here we go.
Yep, here we go, and away we go for 5 lights, and away we go around Las Vegas. Wizard of Oz getting a very good start there. Jay Undisputed defending to the inside on the hards, I see there, for Jay Undisputed, as his Button making a move on the flow, defending from the McLaren as Nova Suarez. It's a 10-second penalty for clipping Major Allen. That is a very harsh penalty this early on in the race. I think Johnny Herbert's seen that one. Anyway, Wizard of Oz, Destroyer up to 2nd place, getting ahead of Jay, which is important for him. But Jay looking to go long, as we'll have a look at the tyre roulette. And very much a roulette. It's 2/3, 66% in favour of the yellow wall mediums. As I see there, David and Locker having a little scuffle in towards the sphere chicane, and Locker winning that fight on the mediums, David on the hards, and is now down to 12th place as the Mercedes. But so far everyone holding their own, a couple of places gained for some, but Wizard of Oz, I think he heard me, he's wanting to break that DRS ASAP. He's got 9/10 already over Destroyer, and the slipstream window as well he's out of, which I think is around 7/10 in this game. So he's doing what he has to do immediately from the off. And Zafir in the chat is asking if we reckon Lando still has a chance, or is Max going to win it in Vegas? I expect Max to bolt around Las Vegas the same way Wizard of Oz is doing. Jay Undisputed up to second place, getting back ahead of Destroyer. And there's the slipstream in the ERS coming into factor already, and we're not even done the opening lap.
Yeah, Jay's looking very, very strong already. Obviously on the hard tyre, and he makes the overtake on Destroyer. So, you know, his quality placed it really well, and if he can keep up there on these hard tyres early on, he's looking very good for the end part of the race. But Wizard of Oz has now got that gap up to 1.2 seconds. He's broke the DRS, and now potentially what we're going to see is we're going to see second backwards, all fighting in a DRS train, and Wizard of Oz can potentially use that to his advantage and just pull away from the fighting cars behind him. We've got two guys in the pits of Nova Tawaga and ZLL93. He's not having the best debut race, but hopefully he can come back into it as he comes out on the hard tyres, same as Nova Tawaga does. Major Allen obviously got clipped, as we saw, that 10-second penalty for Novus. He's up in P13 now, David P12 and Locker P11. But as we go back to the front, the Oz is checking out 1.8 seconds, and look at how close this is now between Jay and Destroyer. They're all over the back of each other here, and like I said, this is exactly what Wizard of Oz wants. He wants them to fight each other, and I'm not even lying here, Cruiser. Down this back straight, we could see Jay here potentially lose 2 or 3 positions.
The one driver under threat already is Button. He's starting in the hards as well, and is suffering that as much as what Jay is going to. Speedy B now up to 5th. That ERS light is flashing as Destroyer is looking for the move on Button. There's the flow. Looming large. There's Edo's Destroyer breaking really deep into the chicane and gets ahead of Jay, which I think actually was pivotal for him, because that gap is extended a little bit more now to 1.6 seconds between the Alpine and now the Haas. Jay still sitting there in 3rd. The Flow keeping himself in check in 4th, as we'll have a look down towards the back of the pack as there's Reese's Pieces in the pit. I'd imagine for front wing damage, but that's now put David, Allen and Locker on their own little private train here in a fight for 10th place. We go to the back now of this train for 2nd place. We see Sid Sandwich holding his own from the start as we look at our positions gain graphic. Biggest winner at the start, ironically, Major Allen, and the biggest loser at the start is now the Flow, as he's lost it, heading around up towards turn 5. Wonder if he got clipped there by Speedy B. So I'm not sure what's happened to the Flow, but what has happened is that his race has took a very bad turn for the worse.
Yeah, he's got wing damage as well, not ideal. He's going to have to come in and obviously come into the pits, and yeah, like you said, he's just not having the best start to the season. He's not having the best luck. You know, he was up there quite well in quali, up in P5, but it's just not really working out for him so far in these first 4 races. Destroyer has got the gap down a little bit to Wizard of Oz. 1.6 seconds is now the gap, as Jay now comes back at Destroyer. Will he have a look? He won't. He did get very close, and he throws it over that curb. And I'm wondering now, will he have a go down towards turn 1? 2/10 is the gap. He's getting the slipstream now as we go across the line to start lap 4 of the race. And is he going to have a look? I think he's a bit too far back. And he is a bit too far back on this occasion. He will wait for the next DRS zone to have another look. But he's doing very well at the moment, Jay. Still up in P3 on these hard tyres. This could very much come back into play for him, as now he gets the DRS. And Destroyer trying to save some battery, and probably not the best time to, as Jay bolts right back past into 2nd place. That gap now, though, back up to 2 seconds at the lead.
I think these guys are going to stop fighting with the DRS and use it to slingshot each other, because right now Wizard of Oz is running away with this race. He has broke that gap now, double what he has to. He's now 2 seconds, as you say. Speedy B hanging in there though in 4th, up 2 places. Sheriff Woody up 3 places, and biggest loser at the start, probably the Flow after Actually, tell I probably Novus after that 10-second penalty, but the Flow, a close candidate there, a bit like the American elections there. But unfortunately, none of them want to win that prize. As down at the Vegas strip we go once more. Brewmaster is just about outside of DRS there from Sheriff Lodi, but he claws back inside. That is important for the Haas. And now down the strip we go. Destroyer looming large behind Jay, but so is Speedy B to that Haas. Destroyer though, that battery is looking very unhealthy, as well as Jay's. Speedy B just sitting there, not using much battery, if any, and is on 70%, which is much healthier than the two in front of him. But Wizard of Oz on 50%. He's just keeping that gap above a second and a half. He just needs to keep himself to himself. There's the Alpine. As Edo Speedy B is right behind Destroyer. Look, you've thought about it in towards turn one. Very rare to get by, but it is possible. As he's looking through the patch, David now up to 9th, but he's 4.4 seconds behind Sid Sandwich and Brewmaster. That's now split off into their own little fight for 7th. And this train now, Destroyer, has made a very bad mistake and has now lost out the DRS almost to J. So lap 5 of 25 at Vegas, are these mediums already starting to suffer?
Well, potentially we're on 25 lap race, so realistically we're probably looking at what, maybe 11 laps and 14, potentially 10 and 15. So I reckon they probably are going off a little bit at this stage, or at least the hards will be coming into play definitely at this stage now. Jay, as we say that now, almost breaking the DRS, 1.8 seconds behind Wizard of Oz. It'll be interesting to see if he can get that gap right down at the front. But as we go back down the field, I don't think anyone's probably going to make any moves as Speedy B actually is getting closer to Destroyer, but Destroyer obviously has the DRS in front to help him. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see now who's going to have the better performing tyres as we go into lap 6 of the race.
Don't you want to do that too much there, Sid? Just lifted off the throttle, but caused the rear to snap out a little bit around that chicane at the end of the Vegas strip. But we're on lap 6 now at Vegas, and the top 8 really are in their own little race. Everyone else behind is in their own little fight for a couple of points, and those further back the pack are hoping for a safety car, or at least something to bring them back into it. And as everyone just in this own little DRS train, not really making any moves, but that gap between Wizard of Oz and Jay has closed. It was at one stage 2.1, it's now 1.2. Jay Undisputed really catching up, and there you see, there's the Alpine there's Jay sliding it in front of the sphere. But I suppose any way to make up your time, it works, and for Jay, he's caught up for a good second in a couple of laps here to that Alpine, and it seems like the medium tyres already starting to suffer. There's not really many corners around this track, and even at that, they are mostly slow speed, but just that thing that run down the Vegas strip, it is causing these tyres to cool down, and even at that, some oversteer is playing their part, which Destroyer has very much found out there. He's now just about back in the DRS, but Speedy B is all over the back of that Haas. Destroyer won't get the slipstream as we head down towards the chicane. He's going to rinse as much battery as he can to try and keep that Alpine behind. Zidro's Button making one overtake. Zidro for the double. He backs off of that plan, covers his inside, and indeed Button back up now into 4th place, and that is now the sign that these hard compound tyres are starting now to have the pendulum swung in their favour and be the preferred tyre, as Button now is on a mission to make up from qualifying. Wizard of Oz are now on a mission to defend against G Undisputed, who, as I said in qualifying, seems to have that magic touch right now in the United States. So good luck defending from that Williams.
Yeah, most definitely. And Jay really getting close now. 6 attempts, going to be 5 attempts. Button there going through on Destroyer, but Destroyer's going to try and outbrake. But Button's got the inside line, and he's now on a charge up to P3 now on these hard tyres. And will he try now and get into the DRS of Jay potentially as he overshoots the corner a little bit there, but he's not lost too much time. 1.3 seconds is the gap now that he needs to try and get down to under a second. Destroyer potentially could lose out as Speedy B now going around the outside of Destroyer. Up to P4 he goes. Destroyer now down to P5 and not having the best lap at all. Here goes Jay then on Wizard of Oz, who's led the whole race from start till now. But is he about to lose that? And I think he is, as we've got 3 temps. And the DRS, I don't think the DRS is on now. And here goes Jay, undisputed, into the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 7 on those hard tyres. And Wizard of Oz might be thinking, oh, they go side by side. And that is really brave there from the Wizard of Oz. And they're going to go side by side still. This could be a dive into turn 1 potentially for Jay. But that was really brave there from the Wizard of Oz. He got a really good run out of the last corner. And he stays ahead for 1 more lap.
Well, at least for a couple more corners does the Alpine. That was fantastic defending there from Wizard of Oz, getting the switch back on Jay as he made the move into the chicane. But now Jay, he said, alright, you've had your fun, now I want to put this to bed. As now Wizard of Oz defending it inside. Jay forced to go wide around the outside, gives him just enough space of a car's width and a piece of paper. And there goes Jay, now the inside in towards the sphere chicane. And this time, Jay gets the move done and is now up into the lead of our Tier 3 Las Vegas Grand Prix. Wizard of Oz has to settle back in now into second place. But that fighting, look who's arrived on the scene, is Button, and Speedy B is actually just about in DRS range. He's got to keep that though, because both of the Hasses are now very much around that Alpine's gearbox. And Brewmaster's slowly fought back through the pack as well. As Edo's just, that actually was Brewmaster getting an almighty twitch out of that turn 11, and there was Wizard of Oz once again using the DRS even before the detection point. And that just shows too the slipstream. It's so powerful around here. And that DRS just says, you've had your fun, now I'm having my turn again to take the lead of the race. And there's a to and fro in, there's the pendulum at the front. And what is the call now for Wizard of Oz? Because you're fighting now, you're going to lose your time here to Button, losing a time here to Speedy B. As there's Jade looking for it around the outside at the final corner, good luck with that. As in towards turn 1, the Alpine holds on.
Yeah, now Remaster up to P6. He's now on the back of his teammate Destroyer and Speedy B. The hard tyres definitely now at this rate the better tyre to be on. I think, and it's just at the front there, Jay going for the lead, and this time he's ahead, and this time he doesn't have to fight it round that corner. 4 attempts he gains just the exit, and Button now can potentially try and look at overtaking as well. If you're Wizard of Oz here, lap 9 of 25, that would be 16 laps on the hards. Is it time to potentially come in now? You know, how long are you going to want to take those hard tyres at the end? It's all about who's going to be the first to make the decision. I think lots of people will follow for whatever happens. I'm thinking Wizard of Oz, really. Yep, Jay's now breaking the barrier as long as he can keep him a DRS, and he might stay out for 1 more lap because he can keep the DRS, but I think as soon as he loses that DRS to Jay, it'll be time to box.
That's how much you lose though, losing the DRS. I think this really might be his best chance to pit, because if he pits now, he's got a nice bit of clean track there between Locker and Reese's pieces. We've seen Major Allen make his pit stop on lap 8. Currently fighting for a point or two is Major Allen, and indeed fighting for a point to prove. As there's Button getting a penalty, and Brewmaster clobbering the Armco on the left-hand side, and his end plate has said bye-bye. So
here comes Wizard of Oz.
There was that, and Wizard of Oz is in. So that is no more. 9 laps on those mediums into the pits he goes, and Brewmaster, that's going to be around 7 seconds he could have done without, to be honest, to change that front wing at his pit stop. But if you Speedy B, Destroyer, I think this lap, you book a trip into the pit lane.
Yeah, I would definitely say the same. You've got to follow what Wizard of Oz is doing now. However, Speedy B might want to keep on, keep hold of the DRS that Button's going to give him. He's keeping on well here, and Button, ever since he's got that 3 second, looks like he's struggling a bit. He's dropped now 2.5 seconds to Jay in the lead, and Jay's kind of now got a bit of clear track where he can really try and potentially put some good lap times in that aren't going to lose him out too much to the Wizard of Oz, who is now on obviously fresh hard tyres. And Sid Sandwich, to be fair to him, is only 8 seconds behind Wizard of Oz on the same tyres, so not looking too bad for the Williams actually. He's having a pretty side race at the moment. As we now come to the back straight on lap 10, 2 seconds is the gap now. Button 8 tenths ahead of Speedy B. How much will Speedy B gain here? Speedy B is actually using no battery. And Remaster might see this as an opportunity to have a go. He's not going to have enough in the tank on this occasion. Now, are we going to see these medium runners come into the box? Speedy B comes in. He will be coming. He's coming across. Destroyer.
So is Woody.
Decides to stay out, but Woody is also in. So Speedy B and Woody all in. And I think Speedy B didn't come into the pits that quickly there. Could have lost a potential couple of seconds.
We'll see where he is though compared to his teammate. He should be out though ahead of Sid. Albeit Sid was in that DRS train as his locker in the pits as well. Fighting for a couple of points there with David and also Major Allen, who is 6 seconds behind the Flow. But I think the Flow will need to make another pit stop. Good luck to getting those mediums 23 laps in this race. I certainly wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Anyway, lap 11 at Las Vegas. J Undisputed leading the way by 3 seconds over Button, but Button carrying another 3-second penalty for track limits. Brewmaster in third, Destroyer in fourth. Both of the Haas's indomitable so far this season. 3 victories to their name, 2 to Destroyer and 1 for Brewmaster last week around Miami. Looking to go 4 in a row. And I'm trying to remember the last time a team won 4 races in a row in FPRL. Would you have to go some to find that, if any? And I suppose maybe season 4. Diamond, if you're here, you know exactly where I'm going with that. You pull in the Michael Schumacher era from the 2000s, as Edo's Destroyer getting back past his teammate Brewmaster, suffering with that wind damage. And I think this is Destroyer's pit stop window, as we see Sheriff Woody right behind Speedy B, but that gap between the Alpines. Wizard of Oz is our net leader. He's got a 5.5 second lead over Speedy B, and that is Destroyer's window. He's got to be out within that 5.5 seconds to the Alpines, and they can have a chance to claw back that gap as he's going to head into the pits. Speedy B making his way down to the final corner. There goes David to carry on now into a net 4th. The Haas team service our championship leader as it is after 3 races, and this is actually going to be almightily close here with Destroyers already at the power down as quick as he can, because there is Speedy B in the background fighting with Sheriff Woody, and Destroyer, that window of margin he has achieved. That is very important there for the Haas, but he's got 4.5 seconds now to catch up to Wizard of Oz, whose tyres are now heated up very nicely.
Yeah, I think Speedy B obviously fighting with Sheriff Woody. That's cost him that second that he would have needed to get out ahead of Destroyer. And Destroyer going a lap later, and he's now made it pay off. Obviously a lap fresher tyres now, so hopefully for him should be a bit quicker. So only one person now out on the medium tyres. That's the Flow, who obviously came in quite early for a damaged wing, who started on the hards. But now the field's starting to spread out a little bit now. We've obviously got this little battle here between 6th, 7th and 8th. But apart from that, everyone's now at least a second ahead of each other. Rootmaster trying to hold on to the back of Button. He's not quite within DRS range, but he's very close to being. And J Undisputed keeping that gap what he needs it to be at, 2.7 seconds. And Button, the only thing for him though is he's the only one in the whole field that's got that 3-second penalty to his name.
And of course Diamond is in the Twitch chat. Hello Diamond, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If only you were here last week when I told you many great names. As Wizard of Oz sets a new fastest lap of the race on a 34.3, and that gap 5.1 seconds between himself and Destroyer. But I'm very curious now, where is Brewmaster and Button going to emerge, and more so, how much of a margin will Jay need to close up when he makes his pit stop? Because if he gets caught up in this train of Destroyer, Speedy and Sheriff Woody, Speedy's going to do his bit to try and hold up this Haas. This race might actually come down between the Alpine and the Williams. Just Button, he's got to do something to get that penalty and at least make up the time. And Brewmaster, he's not out of this race either. There's still a long way to go. We're only halfway through this race around the Las Vegas strip circuit, as we have a small little tussle here for a net second place. And there's Wizard of Oz right behind David Longface. Just about gets stopped in time, does David, and knows it isn't really his fight. He's going to try and get a bit of DRS here and try and help his cause down the Vegas strip, and I think he's trying to, is David, just to ease the Alpine ahead of him and say, well, you made your pit stop, but I'm still fighting for positions here. And David, he's not making it easy here for Wizard of Oz. He's not entitled to move over, and he's now back up into that 4th place. So traffic here for the Wizard of Oz, and the advantage now swings back a little bit at least in favour of Jay. As there's David, I think this might be his pit stop window. No, he's just defending here from the Alpine, which I'm very surprised at. He's in his own little fight here as David for around 8th place. But again, he's just showing, although I'm at the back of the pack, I can very much hold my own.
Oh,
there
the
it goes.
flow's out.
Oh, flow's gone, and that's a safety car. Oh, David's been tagged by Oz. That was twice there that he got tagged by the Alpine. David will not be happy with that. The flow has lost it somewhere around the track, I don't know. And so is boy saying defend like a lion, and I think Wizard of Oz's pride got a bit too much for his own good. And now, this race is very much in favour of Jay and Brewmaster.
Yeah, 100%. I would personally say here, if you're Wizard of Oz, do you come in again? I mean, because Jay now has got a free stop, he will definitely come out in the lead still, because Button's going to box, Brewmaster's going to box, and he's 19 seconds ahead currently, or 18 seconds ahead of Wizard of Oz, and they're going under a delta. So Jay's going to come out in the lead on fresh medium. So if you're Wizard of Oz here, do you come into the box? Is the question. I mean, this is now looking, and Pirelli makes no mistakes, this is looking like a nailed-on race for Jay. And Brewmaster potentially as well has a chance now. Obviously, Button still has that 3-second penalty. Here comes Jay then, and he will definitely come out in the lead. No doubt about it, as he comes into the box. And Button comes in as well, and Brewmaster. Now, what does Wizard of Oz do?
Just to interject, it's about how many pit and how quickly you can get through the pack. That, I think, is going to be the deciding factor here for the Alpine, who is going to pit. David obviously is going to, but Destroyer will stay out. Who else is going to stay out? Speedy doesn't have a choice here, as Speedy B. He is going to stay out, along with Sheriff Woody, so that's 3 places he's lost. And you can make that potentially 4. Nope, Reese's Pieces is in the pit as well. As there goes Sid. He's stayed out, and now Sid's ahead of Wizard of Oz. So he's went from a net 4th, or at least a net 4th on track, maybe a net 3rd, down to a set 8th. But he's going to have the freshest tyres, along with those who have just pitted. So...
yeah, I would say he's probably made the right decision there, because of the long straights you do have around Vegas that you can overtake on. If it was, say, like a Hungary, I would say probably don't come in and pick. It's very difficult to overtake, but it's quite easy to overtake down this back straight. So as long as he gets a good run in DRS, he should be able to quite easily navigate his way through the field. Same with Brewmaster, he should be able to navigate his way through the likes of Woody, Speedy B and Destroyer. This is now potentially, for me anyway, looks like a race between Jay and Button. And as it stands, Button will obviously have to pull a gap of 3 seconds. But yeah, the safety car falling at the perfect time for those hard runners.
It's about that again though, how far can the mediums go? Because we're going to have 8 laps, I think, when we get back underway. As Silverside Boy has redeemed a safety car question through the Channel Point interactions in our Twitch chat. So as well, we have a break in the action as we see the non-copyright F1 intro blaring all over Las Vegas, as well as the legendary Triple Taco and Greasy Biscuit. Sounds like America, Greece. Our races are streamed on twitch.tv/FP Racing League. If you guys want to hit that follow button, as Monkey Boy Kurt said, 1 follower off 700 and 300 away from 4 digits. 1,000 followers, growing strong, is the FPRL Nation. What else? Our Discord server. Nightbot will drop a link to our Discord server through our Twitch chat. You can also find our Discord server through our social media connections, primarily our X account, formerly Twitter, at FairPlayRL. you will find a link to our Discord server and obviously our X account. Be sure to follow that. You will be, you will have a trip down memory lane, all of our race results, and a couple of trailers to some action-packed races of old. I was going to say of past, but no, of old sounds a lot more poetic. But how can you watch these races? Through our YouTube channel, Fair Play Racing League. We have the same profile picture as all of our social media platforms. You can't miss it. Have a trip down memory lane, see some of the craziest, the wackiest, and even the most convincing victories around all 9 seasons. 9 seasons strong, FPRL is, and we're still on our way to season 10. And if I'm correct, 4 years now we've been doing this on Twitch, and we've seen many come and go. We've seen many stay. We've seen many have their moments. I'll say that, myself included. Not mention my first night in commentary, but I said a certain word, which I regret saying. But we'll sidetrack from that. If you guys are interested, join FPRL and join us for the second half of Season 9, where, let's just say the next event is going to have 2 races. Let's just leave it at that. And to our safety car question now from Silverside Boy, directed at you, Monkey Boy Kurt. Will MK Dons get into the promotion playoffs?
I'm going to say we will, actually. I think we're going quite well. I know we obviously had a very horrible defeat yesterday for people that obviously support us, but we're starting to play well again now. We're up to 8. We only need to beat 7. So I'm going to say yes. Let's have it. But yeah, as we now get ready to go again, Jay back in the pack up. He's going to have to go very soon as we come up to the line, and there he goes.
Indeed now, and I've had a quick look at our Twitch chat. We've had a bit of banter between Radical, a former runner-up in Tier 3, taking his adventures now to Tier 2, and Silverside Boy, both of them sharing the grid on Wednesdays, and a bit of friendly banter saying that Radical's won more races than Gary. Anyway, lap 17, we're going to have 8 laps to go at Las Vegas. Jay Undisputed getting the work he's had to do in there. There was in-sync weaving there from Brewmaster and mostly Sid Sandwich trying to get some heat back in those tyres. 7 laps old are those hards. Major Allen on 8 lap old hards, and the oldest tyres on the grid, at least in the running order so far. We've lost 1 driver being the flow, and Sheriff Woody has now joined Button in the 3-second club. You don't want to be in that for too long, or at least at all, because that's now going to put him out of the points at least as things stand. Jay doing the work he's had to do. Button is close behind him, but can Destroyer, can Speedy, can Woody keep up with the top 2?
Well, he'll do a good job to do it, I personally think, but Wizard of Oz is getting so frustrated here behind Sid Sandwich, and Sid Sandwich closing the door on him, and he's really being aggressive with the defending here, trying to defend on 7 lap old hard tyres, and Button, as we say that, goes into the lead, takes over Jay Undisputed, and we've also got David overtaking Alan. We've also got Brewmaster and Sheriff Woody. Oh, and there's a bit of a knock on the wall there for Speedy B. The Speedy B's lost an end plate, and that's going to allow, there's a yellow flag out as well. Nova Sawaga is round at the back. But yeah, Destroyer gaining now an advantage of 2.5 seconds. He's staying on the back of these 2 front runners on the medium. So, you know, he's doing very well at the moment as Wizard of Oz finally gets past Sid Sandwich. He would have been quite frustrated by the way that he was defending on those 7, now 8th lap old hard tyres, as Sheriff Woody is on a charge. He's now into 4th position past Speedy B. He does have, oh, and he's at the wall.
He's got away with it though.
I don't know if that was contact, but he doesn't have any wing damage, doesn't look like. But yeah, this is a real train now from P4 downwards, and P1 to P3 have kind of almost checked out on this safety car restart.
Well, there they are, and there's the rest of the pack. That's what 2.5 seconds looks like between everyone else, and Major Allen getting a 3-second penalty too. In his quest for points, that is not what he needs, as we're going to jump back on board here with Brewmaster. A teammate Destroyer is still in that DRS window of Jay and Button, who still holds the lead, but I don't know how long that will last. But for Destroyer, dare I say, he will have the better tyres at the end of this race. And so you head down the Vegas strip. There's his teammate Brewmaster in the background there, getting ahead of the Alpine of Speedy B, and is up now into 5th Eyes up now to 4th. He's done the double on the hard compound tyre runners, and Brewmaster is now unleashed. There's no other word for it. He is unleashed to catch and try and make up 3 seconds of his own to his teammate, as there is Speedy B pulling to the left-hand side to let his teammate through. So Wizard of Oz is now on the hunt as well, but that 3-second gap, as it is right now, Button will still end up on a podium. That's the gap that Brewmaster has to make up, as well as Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, he does. Destroyer doing very well to keep on the back of this pack. You know, I thought 4 lap old mediums, and let's be fair, 2 of those laps have been behind the safety car, so they haven't been used a lot, but Destroyer's doing very well here to keep on the back of these guys. And, you know, if he can get past Jay, then he can win this race, because obviously Button at the moment's got the penalties, so he doesn't have to worry about him, because we've got some fighting at the back going on. That's between Reese's Pieces and Major Allen. Reese's Pieces now up to 10th place. His next target is going to be David Loleface, and David Loleface now probably eyeing up Sid Sandwich, who is on the most worn tyres. Well, I say that actually, you know, Major Allen's on the most worn tyres of the whole field. But as we come down to the back straight again, lap 19 of 25, we're getting closer and closer now to the end of this race. And Button surely now going to retake the lead back. But that penalty is just looming over his head. He really needs to try and get past and make a charge for a 3-second gap. But on this occasion, he can't get past. And Jay stays ahead again. We'll head into lap 20 of the Grand Prix. And behind... I think you will. I mean...
No, it's raining. There's rain.
It is. Oh, this could be a very, very good end to the race. As Wizard of Oz eyeing up Brewmaster. Can he make the move? He's going around the outside potentially. And it is raining. Yeah, and how wet is the track going to get is the question with 5 laps to go.
Oh my goodness, another tail in this frenetic Las Vegas Grand Prix. Can the top 3 survive? Maybe that's why Destroyer stayed out, just to get... He's got some rubber on those tyres. There goes Wizard of Oz putting the rubber down against Brewmaster, who just gets slapped back in the face there of the Alpine, saying, you're not getting me that easily. I'm going to hold on to 4th place with my life, even if it depends on it. And so far for Brewmaster, just to keep that gap between his teammate and that Alpine. Brewmaster doing his bit, but now, how quickly will this track soak? Or rather, how quickly will it soak in as this Wizard of Oz going for it into turn 11? I admire the bravery, but also at the same time, there's a fine line between bravery and a certain other word, if you all know the phrase. That looked to be on the other side of that.
Destroyer, here goes Destroyer.
And Destroyer's going for it now, going for a double on Oz, as is Oz looking for the move on Brewmaster. In the background, we keep an eye on that, but Destroyer has got the jump on Button and Jay. Now, can that Haas pull away? Because Wizard of Oz is now up into 4th place. That robust defending from Brewmaster only lasted another half a lap, and he seems to struggle a lot out of that exit of the chicane. Wizard of Oz pulling that gap around 3/10 says there's a car in the pits. That is Speedy B. Speedy B is pulling the trigger for Inters.
Here he comes then. Into the box. 4 laps to go. And there they are, the Inter tyres on Speedy B. Now, let's have a look. He's having a front wing change as well. Let's see what the gap is between him and ZLL 93. And so we go back to the front again, and Destroyer and Button very close together. So is Jay. Jay needs to try and keep within the DRS, because he could potentially have a go back at him. He'll get ahead of Button with penalties, but he needs to try and get back past Destroyer if he wants to win this race. Obviously, the rain coming down is making it very interesting. Speedy B out of the pits. Let's have a look at that gap between them. So 33 seconds to ZLL, and I don't think it's wet enough yet, personally. And yeah, it looks like he is dropping back quite a bit. Then Temp's just in that corner. Let's see what he's like through here. Yeah, he is dropping time. It's not quite into weather, but it might be getting to that stage potentially in a lap or two. Here goes Jay. Jay is through on Button. Now Jay's going to eye up Destroyer, and I thought he might have gone for a dive there, but he's thought better of it. And the rain's definitely getting harder. We're going to now go to 4 and a bit laps left of this race. And will the rain get hard enough And there goes Button. Button into the box.
So
Is that going to be
Brewmaster.
Inters for Button? Brewmaster into the box.
It's got to
Now
be
this
Inters.
is a gamble. There's 4 laps left to go in this race. Are the Inters going to be the better tyre? DRS is still enabled.
Tell you
But
what,
there's the
Locker's in as
Inters.
well. These are the decisions that win you championships. That's all I'm going to say. Button and Brewmaster pulling the trigger along with Button. Button, and Brewmaster is Locker. But can they claw back the time? That's going to be the question as we head in towards the Sphere chicane. It still doesn't look damp enough, but it is certainly getting worse. Could this be the cut-off lap? I don't know. What do you do though if you're Destroyer or J? Is it worth just nursing it home?
Well, I'm looking at the gap now between Destroyer and Button. The leader gap, 21.5 seconds, 21.4. It's basically the same level on each tyre now. Button is not losing any time. In fact, he's probably gaining just a little bit. So if this carries on, the Inters are going to be the better tyre. Now, what do you do? I mean, if it gets hard enough and then the dries don't work, then you're going to be really not. Oh, well, he did lose time there though. He lost 4 attempts into that corner Button, so it probably is just about still dry tyres, but it's very close now. If we get a lot more of this rain, Inters will become the better tyre, but I don't think at this stage any of these guys now are going to pit.
Yeah, I think they're committed now to the end. As there was Reese's Pieces and Sid committed in warfare for 6th place there. Sid switching to the outside line. Reese's Pieces having the inside line, but Sid swoops around the outside. Holds the outside line, but blank wheels there! Reese's Pieces getting a little bit naughty there on the inside. David is up now to 5th. Major Allen still with a chance of a point. And so, actually, for that matter, is Zell. If he can just keep it on the road, he might be with a chance at something. But Reese's Pieces, that was a little bit naughty there from Sid. He knew he was there, but that might just be conditions here. As Edo's Sid making the move back on the McLaren, who's suffering there with front right end plate damage. But Reese's Pieces going to fight back. It's just costing both of them time. As Erdo's Major Allen, he's very much giving them both the hurry up, saying, look, I know you're fighting, I know you want to sort this out, but don't let me get caught up in it. I want to catch up. I want to catch up to my teammate here.
Yeah, and the weather really hasn't changed. It's just about the same for both sets of tyres. 21.9 seconds. Always a bit of contact there between Novus and Sid. That almost ended in tears for Novus, but he keeps it out of the water now. Destroyer looks like he's now on the better tyres at this late stage of the race. 1.4 seconds. He hasn't got to worry about Jay now trying to catch him with DRS. This could potentially be his 3rd win in 4 races if the rain holds off. Yeah, Button now 23 seconds. He is dropping back. I don't think it's quite rained hard enough for the Inters to play any part in this race.
Took a gamble, but it wasn't quite right for both Button and Brewmaster, and even that Locker too, fighting with Speedy B now for the sole point, or not quite the sole point, but the last place in this race, and Speedy B gets ahead of the Sauber. But for the final point, Button and ZLL, as Zell is in a pit. Obviously he's getting a bit too damp, he's just not quite going to finish in the points, but can Button salvage a point? He's got up to a 3-second lead to Brewmaster, and currently that gap is 2.7. You should see that he's sliding it around turn 3. And I think it's that very frustrating point here for both Button and Brewmaster. It's wet, but it's just not wet enough here to go to intermediates.
Yeah, it literally is. It's not a lot in it, to be fair. I mean, Button's only lost, about 2.5 seconds in about 3 laps. So there's really not a lot in it, but the dries are just slightly the better tyre. And yeah, it wasn't worth the gamble in the end unless it really picks up on this last lap. But I can't see that now with only 1 lap remaining. 2.1 seconds is the gap. Destroyer looking like he's going to come home to take his 3rd win out of 4 races.
I did say they have internet issues, but he's going to have an even bigger issue in not finishing. Sid sandwiching Novus and Reese's Pieces. That is an almighty collision for the Williams driver. As their Speedy B just showing how how horrible it is to drive on those intermediates. But Sid Sandwich, that is not the way he envisioned his race ending. Neither Novus, he's got no front wing, so that's now Button guaranteed at least 8th place at the very worst. There's Major Allen looking to make the move here on Reese's Pieces in towards turn 1. He gets a little bit of a shunt there, does the McLaren, and Major Allen down the inside, and Allen is going to move up as he's just about kept under control and is up now into 6th place. Can he now pull, can he pull that 3-second gap to Reese's Pieces? Good luck, because he's now right behind you in your DRS, as now down towards turn 4, and Reese's Pieces is going to restore that 6th place. Major Allen trying to brave it around the outside, he outbreaks himself on the conditions, and Reese's Pieces survives. But as it is, Major Allen going to get P7, David at P5, a good evening all round for the Mercedes team. But I think really, as the heavens opened, Destroyer he's put his marker back on the pack. He's now down the Vegas strip for the final time. The Haas-seed gremlins of the internet variety around Miami. He didn't see the checkered flag, but previously he's won the first 2 races of the campaign. Brewmaster picked up the baton in Miami as we headed to Nevada. It's going to be Destroyer to get his 3rd victory in 4 races. Button took the gamble, Brewmaster took the gamble, it didn't pay off for them, and as we see the Haas, it's going to be America, America, America for Destroyer. 3 victories, and he takes the victory under the Vegas lights. Destroyer once again putting his name to the pack, destroying the opposition. J Undisputed again with the Midas touch around the stakes takes 2nd place. Wizard of Oz will take 3rd, when at one stage it looked bleak and fighting for a couple of points. David Lawface will take 4th for that matter, and after penalties are applied, Sheriff Woody will take 5th, Reese's Pieces 6th, Brewmaster claws back to 7th, Major Allen gets points in 8th, Novus will get 9th, and Button down in 10th. He took that risk, and albeit in Sin City, you took one gamble too much, and indeed it was the case. I've just noticed that the apexes have little how do I say this? They've got hearts and spades. They've got like the card emblems for when you play poker. Clever. Anyway, that completely derailed me. I'm just rambling on now. Destroyer, well done.
Yeah, no, another great win for him. He's been really, really quick the whole season, and yeah, obviously, last race he obviously had connection issues, which kind of ruined it for him. But he just seems as if he's a bit unstoppable at the moment. Obviously, he came into the league at the end part of last season and showed that he was quite quick, but now he's showing that he's really got what it takes. And with obviously Button only scoring 1 point and Remaster finishing E7 in the end, he gains a lot more lead now in the championship. So another great win for Destroyer.
An ideal scenario for the Haas team. That's now 4 for 4 for the Haas team. Can they go 5 for 5? We'll find out. Technically 6 for 6 as we head off to next week's race. J Undisputed will take 2nd place. Wizard of Oz will get 3rd. And David Lawface from 12th to 4th. Cracking effort from him. Kept his nose clean, and that's what happens. Sheriff Woody will take 5th. Reese's Pieces 6th. Brewmaster, Major Allen, he'll be happy with that in 8th. Novus 9th, limping home without a front wing. And Button will take 10th. We've had 2 casualties in the race. The Flow early on, and Sid Sandwich with a heavy collision. Fighting away with Reese's Pieces and Novus, just getting all caught up at the wrong place at the wrong time. So we head off to the showroom. Let's see if we can get a word with our top 3. The only one actually that's not even going to be possible, is it? Because they're all on cross-platform.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, literally.
Right, we'll need to do this through Discord. Or if they're even in chat, which is drop a quick message in a Twitch chat, we'll be able to read it off of there. P3 was the Alpine. We get the Alpine up on stream. What a couple of days it's been for them. Getting a double podium at Interlagos, and now Wizard of Oz getting a podium for them around Miami. duplicate a success, maybe? We'll find out. As I'm going to try and get a quick word with our podium drivers. In the meantime, Monkey Boy Kurt, it gives you a little bit of time to ponder over driver of the day.
It does. I'm going to have a good think about it and see who I think is worthy of it today. Definitely some candidates in mind. And, you know, I think I've already made my decision, but I'll wait until we've obviously had our potential words with our podium, potentially through Discord, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm still sending the messages out. We'll see if we can get a quick word from them.
But yeah, no, it was very interesting at the end there, just sort of seeing that it was raining, but just didn't come down enough. It almost like it started raining, and then it kind of just sort of stopped and was at that sort of level where it was, you know, it was good for inters, but it was also just a little bit better for the dry tyres. And like I say, I think towards your last lap there, Remaster ended up finishing about 23 seconds behind, which was around about the amount of time he was behind when he came in. So it really was either or. If you decide to go on the dries or inters, it was pretty much the same time. So very rare you get that. But yeah, the gamble not paying off for some, but obviously it's worth it sometimes to have a go and see if the alternate strategy will pay in your favour. And this time, unfortunately for those lot, it was the right decision to start on dries. But yeah, we'd all love good ends to the race like that, something that spices it up, sort of changes it all about. And that was definitely a good one, and very interesting to see how it panned out in the end.
That's, I can't really fault it. It was a very entertaining race. I don't think we are going to get a word from our top three. So, kind of an unfortunate way to end off, as I was very, very intrigued to know what their mind was when the rain started to fall. Because I'm looking at it from the cameras we have. I'm seeing like little flickers, almost like flickers of light, almost in the camera. I'm like, wait a minute, is that rain? I didn't want to say it, but then it started to actually show, and I'm like, oh wow, it is actually raining. That's all we needed to end off. And oh, we are going to get a word from Jay Undisputed. So let's have a quick shufty and see what he says. He said, as I quite prepared, we've got the Williams up on stream for a P2 driver. Jay saying it was all about patience tonight. He saw the rain coming at the end and decided to try the Hail Mary stint in the hopes that it would go to inters. But the safety car came and decided to come in for mediums. So the safety car did play its part, and we are going to get a word from Destroyer. And he might actually join up the party, which I remember he tried to last time around Hungary. Try to get him in and see what he says, but we'll get a quick word from Jay. The last 5 laps was an ice rink and decided to play it safer rather than attacking Destroyer. That's fair enough. You're not going to throw away second place just going for, throw away a second place after a good night's work. This is Jay. As we'll head to the Haas. And I'm going to try and invite Destroyer in. Let's see if we can. And one more. Jay saying that he's very satisfied with P2. Can't really fault him there. Yep, just trying to find Destroyer's Xbox profile. That might explain why the stream is frozen a little bit, but let's see if he can join up. There we go, we're back to the Haas. And we are going to have a word as well from Wizard of Oz. We'll jump back to the Alpine then real quick. I like this one. Getting back to the Alpine, says a decent race after a good qualifying. I'm not sure if I should have stayed out under the last safety car. I'll take the result, and thank you for no curses tonight. You're welcome. Just, I think I passed on that energy from you over to Sid, so no one is safe. And Destroyer, I should have you in the party now. Definitely seen you join up. Hopefully it's fixed from Hungary. So with that in mind, Monkey Boy Kurt, I will pass the reins over to you and see if if we can get a word with our P1 driver, destroy a track.
Hopefully we can. If you just want to make sure your audio is included, Destroyer in the party. Gives a little tick box as you go onto the party settings. I think last time you obviously did chat to us, but I'm not sure it came from the stream, so if you just want to double check that. Yeah, I'm not getting anything coming through. I can see the mic moving, but I can't hear anything coming through, unfortunately, at the moment.
Certainly try before we can end off, because do want to hear from a race winner. If not, then I mean, yeah, a quick word through this door, I suppose. And I might actually as well just add him as a friend. It means he's here for future. So I'll add him as a friend just in case something else needs to happen in the future as well. So we've done that, and hopefully the connection issues will sort themselves out for Destroyer. If not, then I suppose there's no other way around it. But I suppose in the meantime, while we wait for Destroyer to get his internet in check and his microphone as well, Monkey Boy Kurt, good time as any. Who is your driver of the day?
Well, I think it was a very good drive for Destroyer. Obviously, third win of the season, and no doubt that he looks very strong now. Looking forward to the second half of the season and the title. To be honest, looking in a very strong position. But no, definitely one person today that I think deserves driver of the day. He was very unlucky, to be fair, to not get it last week because he did a very good race last week as well. But today he has come up from outside the top 10 and he's just been shy of the podium places. No penalties, which allowed him to jump from P5 to P4. I'm today going to give driver of the day to Mr. David Lolface. So well done, Dave. Very good one to you.
Yeah, we go. David Lawface, driver of the day, and
Can
Destroyer
you
has
hear me
got the
guys now?
microphone working. Yep, we've got you. We've got
Finally.
you, Destroyer.
Can you hear me on the stream as well? I have included the audio on broadcast.
Yep, we can hear you in the stream.
Oh,
We've
perfect.
got you in the stream.
I got my
So, Monkey
headset
Boy
today,
Kurt.
so to avoid the problem like last time.
Nah, that's fair. At least it's worked now. So, Monkey Boy Kurt, over to you.
Yeah, cheers, mate. So, yeah, Destroyer, obviously, here again in P1, 3 times out of 4, you're making a good habit of this. Obviously, we'd always start with qualifying. It was a very close qualifying, obviously, come to the last run. The top 3 separated by 400ths of a second. Were you just a bit disappointed not to be on pole? But I guess, yeah, it was so close that, to be on P3, you still must have been pleased with the result.
Yeah, I mean, P3, I was actually not expecting P3, probably P4, P5, but I think the two reasons why I probably wasn't on pole was first because I was slightly higher on my downforce because I kind of saw that there was some rain and I didn't know when it would come in, so I wanted to be prepared. So I had more like a balanced wet dry setup. So yeah, so I was a little bit slower on the straight, which is why if you saw me on my second run, I got a big toe from my teammate. So big thanks to him for. Otherwise, I would not have been in three. I think I would have got pole, but I think I made a very small mistake into turn one. I went in a bit hot, and I think I lost around half a tenth or a tenth there. That probably made the difference, but not to take away from Wizard and Jay, they had some brilliant laps there.
Yeah, no, obviously it's still a great quality, a great watch as well at the end of quality, and going into the first half of the race. Obviously, you started on the medium tyres. There was a bit of a split strategy between the field, and I think you looked okay on the mediums, but I definitely would feel that I don't know if you feel the same, that once you came in for the hard tyres. I know we had that safety car where potentially you thought you might have been on the back foot with some fresh medium runners, but you definitely looked stronger to us anyway on the hard run at the end, especially when the rain came down. It looked like the hard tyres were definitely the tyre to be on, and you made good work, obviously keeping with the medium runners. And then coming into the end of the race, obviously the rain that was coming down. Did you think to pit for inters? Because we saw a few drivers do the same. Was that on your mind, or was it always no? I'm going to stay out on the dries and try and see it to the end, which is what you did in the end.
No, I mean, I never really thought of Inters. I mean, yes, it did come to my mind, but on this game, until it gives you the DRS disabled message, I mean, which is honestly a very poor mechanism of the game. Ideally, it's basically giving you clues when to go for Inters. So until that message came, I didn't have any plans to go for Inters, and I saw that it was only like 2 or 3 laps. And I think being Las Vegas with like four big straights and hardly any like 5 or 6 corners, that is very difficult to tackle with very less grip. I decided to just stay out. I mean, even if I went back, I saw, I think Speedy or someone else or already went for the pit, so I probably would have come back behind them or something like that and got stuck in traffic. So yeah, it was never in my mind. And I think in the start, the mediums were not so good in Las Vegas. I mean, I struggled so much to keep up with Jay and Wizard. I think the first lap when I actually did not use my ERS, which I still regret, and I let Wizard off. I thought I could catch him on second lap with my ERS and it would have burnt off, but I think he had some very good straight line speed there. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it
no,
was a struggle.
100%. Yeah, well, obviously it came back to you in the end, and obviously the victory, third one of the season at 4 races, so very well done to you. Obviously, a more extended lead in the championship. We head to our sprint race of the season next week, so we've got a sprint and a main race at Portimao. So not a race we've seen on the official calendar for a few years, but we are going to go there in FPRL. How are you feeling for Portimao? Is it a track that you like to race around?
No, probably one of my worst tracks there, so don't expect some performance there. I will try my best, so probably put in some practice during next weekend when I am not working. So, but yeah, definitely not my quality track. So it might be damage limitation, but you never know because I've never raced on Portugal on this game. So yeah, need some practice in.
Well, hopefully you'll have another good one. Potentially, if you do have another great one, can make it 4 out of 5. But we'll have to wait and see about that. But once again, congratulations on the victory today and the extended lead in the championship. I'll hand back to Cruiser now.
Cheers, man. Thank you so much.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Yeah.
Cruiser, are you there, Cruiser? Have you muted your mic, Cruiser?
No, I'm just letting the conversation finish.
Okay,
But
okay.
yep, yeah, I mute my mic. That is going to be it though from us at FPRL. But thank you to everyone for tuning in and for watching this Monday evening. We will be back this Wednesday, which will be the 6th. No, what date is this? 4th. The 6th of November. I was right the first time for our Tier 2 race around the Las Vegas circuit at 8 p.m. UK time before our Tier 1s take to the track on Friday 8 p.m. UK time. And if it's anything like Tier 3, a little spice of rain at the end, you don't want to miss it. We are destined for another close championship, hopefully, in Tier 2. And Tier 1, all your favourites are there. The best, the pinnacle of FPRL taking to the track. So you don't want to miss that either. We've had our driver of the day, so David Lawface again, another well done to you. Our top 3 drivers, Wizard of Oz, J Undisputed, and Destroyer. Congratulations to all of them. And Monkey Boy Kurt, I'll see you on track on Wednesday.
You will indeed, and yeah, hopefully, hopefully, yeah, we can have a good one. I mean, I didn't think I was going to have that great a race at Miami last week, and it turned out to be all right. So hopefully, we'll see the same again. But yeah, no, looking forward to it, mate.
Indeed we are. We're going to do some time trials now because we need to practice. That has been Monkey Boy Kurt.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Hope you watched a good race, and see you again next week.
Indeed, we will see you in the commentary box next week around Portimao. And we will see you on track this Wednesday on track around Las Vegas. And with that, that has been Monkey Boy Kurt, and this has been Cruiser 1872. Thank you all very much for watching, and from all of us here at FPRL, good night.